a unorthodox in-season podcast we have coming for you. I'm Kevin DiDomenico alongside Wyatt Krieger. And today we're going to talk Dominion Titan football. We're previewing you a little bit, but first I want to get to a little public service announcement. We will not be doing the game on Friday due to limited press box space. We tried our best. I said I'd go up there alone. Give me one chair in the corner, and I'll call the game without Wyatt.
It is a real shame, and I would have done it in the stands if we had to.
Oh, of
Kevin.
course.
But what an opportunity we missed with that, missing that game. I mean, hour 20, hour 30-minute hour and a half drive.
We'll be out there. We'll be tweeting from DHS Press, the Twitter account. But first, let's look back at the last three games, recap the season a little bit. The Titans with a big win over Loudoun Valley that kind of got them into the playoffs, and then a steamroll of Parkview. But talk about the Loudoun Valley game.
The Parkview game is what it is. I mean,
yeah,
they're Parkview, and that game was over.
I believe they're not going to have a program next year. What?
Yeah, that is still in speculation. We don't know, but the Valley game really set the tone for the rest of this season. I feel like they really dictated how their playoff picture, or how the playoff run, or what kind of team we're going to be looking at.
Exactly, so, and they showed so much resilience in that game. You got the Trey Hayes, who's in his second game at quarterback, the sophomore guy, in his first full season in the varsity uniform, and he's leading the team to a comeback win over a solid team. That's not where they should be right now. I think they should be in this playoff race.
Yeah, they really redefined who they were, I feel like, in that game, and that was so big moving forward, especially as it was pretty much a playoff game for them. They had to win that game.
Call it a statement game.
Mm-hmm. But moving on to this week, Kevin, you got Sherando. Sherando, a really good team, a matchup. A lot of these Dominion players did not like compared to the potential of getting Kettle Run that originally was. I
don't think they got the bad end of the barrel there. I think there could have been a lot of things went wrong. We were talking during the broadcast. Oh, and during Parkview, we were following all these games, and we were talking to Dr. Brewer. There's so many different games going on, and so many teams we wanted to win, had to have win to get that 2 seed. And I think everything went wrong in that night. And
we had Millbrook losing, we had James Woods, and we needed to get a win too. But Dominion finds himself as district champions, I believe, and tied with Loudoun, co-district champions of Loudoun County, which is crazy.
Weird,
considering how Dominion beat them. But the Sherando game, I mean, I've seen articles saying Dominion's supposed to lose by three plus touchdowns. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Dominion is a major underdog.
One thing I like is Dominion coming into the underdog position is Dominion, they've been in that position before. And I like this team, and they've shown resilience, and I like them in the underdog position. I think they got a lot of guys who star in that role. And I think the X factor for this Sherando Dominion game is going to be Jaden Pierre.
It's going to be Jaden Pierre, and both with the receiving game and in the running game, Kevin, I think he needs to step it up. And we don't know, there's going to be a huge shift. We will talk about that in a second, but there's going to be a huge shift in the lineup or the roster that we're going to be seeing, especially with all the positions. They're going to have to rotate. That'll be a good segue into now we have Alex Wirtz with his status in question for a game, probably doubtful.
So there's a good chance he will not play on Friday, and I think is why I say Jaden Pierre is going to have to step up. He's shown in the last couple 4 or 5 games that he's a force on the ground. I talk about it during some of the broadcasts, and he's kind of come out of nowhere on the ground. I mean, he's been a threat through the air, but he runs that counter play, and you get some fakes off that counter play. You run that counter play a few times, it's a weapon, and he's running off of that play.
That counter play, the way they set it up is Coach Holland likes to run the run play to that counter over and over and over again, hammer it home, and then it really just opens things up for Pierre on that reverse because it's the same play design, same motion and everything. But with Alex Wirtz out, that hurts them a lot, both offensively and defensively, Kevin. I mean, he was the running game.
Some linebackers stepping up on the defensive end.
Isaiah Webster is a good running back, but he cannot run within the tackles. We haven't seen any of that this year, so it's going to be Darius Brown, or it's going to be someone else. I've heard Chris Adu's been getting a few reps. I mean, we saw him in the Parkview game sort of jokingly, but he's getting a few reps.
Hey, he got 10-plus carries in the Parkview game.
So maybe he can step in the role. I don't know, but we've got Jaden. We got Jaden as another option too. But Darius Brown definitely could step up as a sophomore. And then defensively, I mean, the middle linebacker position is so important in this defense, and Wirtz has starred in that role. But it's going to be Eric Blackwell, and it's going to be either Trevor Carlin or Josiah Cote stepping in. And I think they want to get Josiah Cote in. get him some experience at the playoff level. I mean, that would be huge.
Well, I think Eric Blackwell's going to have to step up in a big way. I think he's been good in these last 4 or 5 games too, just as Jaden Pierre has on the defensive side. So you talk about these guys stepping up the second half of the season. Jaden Pierre on offense. I'm looking at Eric Blackwell on defense. He was great in the Loudoun Valley game, and I think he's going to be a big factor. Looking more at this playoff picture, though, if Dominion does beat Sherando, they're going to play a number 1 Millbrook team. Mind you, Sherando did, I believe, blow out Millbrook.
Yes, this past
in the night when we were looking at all the scores. So
Millbrook's a good team. They've gotten to this point. They did not show up for that last playoff game.
They're a good team.
They still played well enough in this to obtain that number 1 seed here. But again, Coach Buck isn't going to look ahead at all. You got to look at Sherando only, and
of course
before you move.
Well,
on
I mean, talking to Coach Buck, he's a guy that's going to say we're going to focus on the next game. We're not going to look at Millbrook at all. We're focusing on Sherando. We're doing film for Sherando. We are doing nothing for Millbrook, and we'll do that next week if the time comes. So mind you, we will not be doing a broadcast this Friday, and we are ever so sad about it. We will be tweeting. We have 280 characters from Twitter. We will see you guys hopefully next Friday night.